Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and 13 Nights of Fright. From now until Halloween, I will be uploading little spooky shorts just to get into that Halloween spirit and that spooky energy. If you would like to be notified when I do upload my videos, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and that the notification bell is on. Today's spooky upload is about my creepy experiences that I had while I was a child. So if you would like to get into this video, grab a blanket, grab your beverage of choice, maybe light a candle and some sage, and let's get into today's spooky video. Now, oddly enough, the spookiest experiences that I had as a kid weren't always ghost related. And I feel like it is good to add a couple of non-paranormal but spooky stories into this series that I have. So this story that I have for you today is not of a paranormal nature. It started when I was in about 8th grade, and back then we still went door to door to do fundraising. And I remember me and my friend were going door to door selling Gold C fundraiser books. Now, if you don't know what a Gold C fundraiser book, it was like a big book of coupons, and it had like coupons for like 25% off on this, free pizza on that. It was just a bunch of coupons. So me and my friend thought it would be really cool because we wanted the prizes. We thought we would go door to door in our neighborhood and try to get people to buy this. My friend and I walked by this one house, and she wanted to go up and knock on the door. But something in my gut told me, no, this is not the house. Do not go there. Do not go knock on the door. But my friend was insistent, so me and her walked up to this house, and we knocked on the door. And after a couple of knocks, there was nobody answered. So feeling relieved, I went to turn around, but as soon as I turned around, we heard the door open. And when we looked back, there was this tall guy. His face was completely pale. He had dark black circles under his eyes, and he was going like this. And me, the way that I am, hold on, something just popped up. The way that I am when I'm terrified, I become kind of like, I put out that false bravado. So I was like, what does this mean? Can you talk? Can you speak? Like, I provoked it because, you know, I'm a little kid. I was a teenage girl. I'm not saying that I was completely pure and innocent my entire life, but I was getting kind of frustrated because he was just sitting there, and while we were talking to him about buying these things, and he would not respond. He looked at us very, very eerily, and it kind of sat very wrong in my stomach. So I was like, can you talk? Can you speak? My false bravado, right? We did not end up selling him the Gold C. He did open up the door like he wanted us to come in, and I just grabbed my friend and I was like, we need to get out of here, and we ran. Well, a few weeks later, me and my friend are at my house. We're having a sleepover, and we get this phone call. And it was an area code that was for a different city than what I lived in. So we thought it was like maybe like a prank call or something like that. We picked it up and we were going to prank the prank caller. And the caller said, I see you. And then he hung up. And this wasn't like, you know how you have those voice automated like things that can change your voice? It wasn't like that. It sounded like an adult male. And it gave me and my friend a very, very, very eerie feeling. And we were like, maybe he just got the wrong number. You know, it is a different area code. And we went about our night. About an hour and a half later, we got another call, same number. This is back when they had caller ID. So my friend picks it up this time. And I don't know what he said to her. Well, I do now in retrospect, but her face went completely pale. And she hung it up and she's like, we need to call the cops. And I was like, why? And she's like, he described my nightshirt down to a T. She had this like Bugs Bunny and Tasmanian Devil nightshirt on, and he explained the nightshirt. He explained what my room looked like, what was in my room, and said that he could see us. So we ran. We woke up my grandmother at the time. My grandmother let the dog out. The dog went crazy, ballistic in the backyard, barking. But we called the police. When the police got there, they didn't find anybody or a trace of anybody being there. So how did he see into my window? Because the only window that I had that you could see, there were privacy fences on both sides of my yard. So that would mean if he could see into my window, he would have had to been in my yard. And they didn't find anything. And then they said, if you have any more problems, here's the number. You know, the detective gave the number. He's like, call me. So at this point now, I'm pretty freaked out because I'm remembering the guy from the week before. I don't know if it was the same guy, but I do remember the guy from the week before that we did the Gold Sea fundraising thing, right? And at this point, I'm terrified. I'm like, what if this guy like followed us home, knows where I live, he's got a beef with me because I was kind of rude, being a rude teenager to him. So I started sleeping with a big machete underneath my pillow because I was scared that he was going to come in and get me. Now, I don't know if this is just my psychological thing that like made me flip out, but that phone call was also very suspicious, right? So a couple of weeks later, I'm by myself. It's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because I was always one of those teenagers that stayed up really, really late, even on school nights. And I think I was watching Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. And I'm sitting there watching it. And all of a sudden, I hear a tapping at my window. Now, I had a friend that was a guy friend of mine that used to come to my window every night or every other night, and he would tap at the window, and we'd sneak out and, like, smoke pot or whatever. And so I thought this was him. So I turn around, and I go to open my window, and there's a face staring directly right at me. Except this face was not that tall white guy. This face was a dark man. I don't want to sound prejudiced or racist, but you know what I mean by dark man. And he had a ski hat on, and he had like a beard, and he was like looking directly at me. I screamed, woke up my grandmother. My grandmother and my mom come running into my room. I flicked on my light. I told them exactly what the man looked like, and we called the cops again. And they put out like an all-points bulletin for this guy, but nothing ever came of it. And I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, we moved out of the house because we were moving anyways. So we moved out of the house, and I never saw that guy again. But I will tell you, it was creepy. Creepy to have somebody call you while you're in your own room or while you're in your house and it's dark outside, and they can describe exactly what's in your house and tell you that they can see you. That means they're out there doing whatever it is that peeping toms like to do. I'm guessing it was a peeping tom. I'm guessing that the other guy that I came across when I was doing the Gold Sea, maybe he was just Maybe he was deaf and maybe he couldn't talk, and maybe he was friendly even though he looked really odd and really creepy, and I got a really creepy feeling. Maybe they were two separate instances. Maybe they knew each other and this guy really didn't like me and got somebody else to stalk me. Whatever the case may be, those were two terribly creepy incidences that happened to me when I was a child or when I was a teenager. So, you know, for the longest time as I was a teenager, I would sleep with a knife under my pillow because I was afraid that somebody was going to come and get me. I had that paranoia of like, stay away from strangers. But then again, my mom always made me watch Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted since the age of 3. So maybe I'm just naturally suspicious of people. But I don't know. That was a really eerie tale. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that these are two people? Do you think that these are two people that maybe were working together? Or do you think that these were two separate incidences altogether? Have you ever had a peeping Tom incident or an incident where you knew somebody was not right? You just had that feeling that somebody was not right, that something was not right with a certain person. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I love reading your stories, and I will see you all in my next video. Until then, please be kind to yourselves and one another. Bye.